Matilda stood outside the gate of her mansion, breathing fast, her heart shaking like a frightened bird. A strange scream echoed from inside the house. It was Chief. He was shouting like someone fighting invisible fire. She rushed in. The beautiful living room looked like a storm had entered. Tables broken. Curtains torn. Chief stood in the center, sweating, shaking his head like he was tired of his own body. "Who are you? Stay away from me," he yelled, pointing at Matilda as if she was a monster. "Chief, it's me," she cried, but he didn't listen. He grabbed his car keys and ran out of the house like a madman, leaving Matilda behind in shock. That was the moment she knew her soft life had turned into a nightmare. Matilda sat on the floor crying. She remembered the day she first visited Kalima's shop. Back then, life was sweet, soft, perfect. She wore the magic bead and the world opened its arms to her. Money, love, gifts, trips. Everything came easy. Now, everything was falling apart. Her phone rang. It was Lara. "Matilda, please come to the hostel. Lillian is acting strange. She is laughing and crying at the same time. Her eyes are red. We don't know what to do," Matilda gasped. The bead that gave them soft life. Was it taking something back? She looked at her wrist. The bead glowed faintly like a tiny, evil star. Her hands shook as she whispered, "What have we done?" Then she remembered Kalima's words the very first day. "The world gives nothing for free. When it's time to pay, payment must be complete." Matilda grabbed her car keys. The nightmare had only just begun. Matilda sped to the hostel, her mind full of fear. She remembered how happy they all once were. Life before the bead was hard. No money. No attention. No soft life. But Kalima changed everything. The hostel was noisy when she arrived. Girls gathered around Lillian's bed. Lillian was shaking. She laughed loudly, then cried like a baby. "Take it off," she screamed. "It's burning me." Matilda pushed through the crowd. "Lillian, look at me." Lillian stared with wide eyes. "Matilda, we shouldn't have gone there." Kalima lied. "She lied to us." Matilda's chest tightened. Lara stood beside her, terrified. "We must remove the beads," Matilda said, but as soon as they tried to touch Lillian's bead, she screamed louder. Her body jerked. Her eyes turned white. All the girls screamed. Matilda stepped back, breathing fast. Her phone vibrated. It was a message from Kalima. "Do not remove the bead. Payment has only started." Matilda's legs felt weak. "What payment?" she whispered. Lillian suddenly went silent. She stared at Matilda with a strange smile. "Kalima wants us to visit her. She wants to see you, Matilda." Matilda froze. "Me? Why?" Lillian giggled. "Because your own payment is special." Matilda grabbed her car keys again. "Lara, stay here. Watch Lillian. If she gets worse, call me." Lara nodded, scared. Matilda ran out, her heart beating fast. She had questions. She needed answers. And only one person could explain the nightmare that was starting, Kalima. When Matilda reached the bead shop, she noticed something. The door was already open. Lights flickered inside. It looked like the shop was waiting for her. Matilda swallowed. Then she stepped inside, hoping she wasn't too late. The air smelled like danger, and her hands shook with silent fear, very strong. The bead shop was quiet. Too quiet. Matilda stepped in slowly, her footsteps soft on the dusty floor. Shelves were filled with beads of every size, shape, and shine. Some glowed faintly, like they were alive and breathing. "Kalima?" Matilda called out. No answer. She walked deeper into the shop. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and Kalima appeared from behind a curtain, smiling like she had been waiting for this moment. "My favorite customer," she said. Her voice was calm, but Matilda felt fear rise in her chest. "What's happening to us?" Matilda asked. "Lillian is acting crazy, Chief is losing his mind, and my bead keeps glowing on its own." Kalima laughed softly. "What you are seeing is the beginning of balance." "What do you mean?" Matilda asked, her voice shaking. Kalima leaned close. "You thought you could take blessings without giving anything back." Matilda stepped back. "We paid for the beads." Kalima shook her head slowly. "Not enough. Soft life comes with a price. Your beauty, your joy, your peace. Something must be traded." Matilda gasped. "You cheated us." "I only gave you what you begged for," Kalima replied. "Rich men, BBL money, school fees, new houses. Did you ever ask where the luck came from?" Matilda froze. Kalima walked to a glass case and pointed. Inside was a dark red bead glowing angrily. "That is Clara's bead. Look closely." Matilda's eyes widened as the bead glowed brighter. She saw a vision. Clara, crying in her big house, her beauty gone, looking old like someone near 60. Her husband ran away with another woman. Matilda covered her mouth. "No," Kalima smiled wider. "She paid the price." Matilda shook her head. "I want to remove the bead." Kalima's eyes turned cold. "If you do, you will lose more than you ever gained." Matilda felt trapped, and Kalima whispered, "Your real payment hasn't even begun." Matilda left Kalima's shop with shaking hands. The night air felt heavy. She drove slowly, thinking about everything Kalima said. The bead, the payment, Clara's suffering. It was too much. Her phone buzzed. It was Clara, crying. "Matilda, please come. I need help." Matilda rushed to Clara's house immediately. When she arrived, Clara looked terrible. Her once glowing skin now looked dry and cracked. Her hair fell out in patches. She looked twice her age. She wore a scarf to cover her bald spots. "Clara." Matilda whispered, shocked. Clara cried loudly. "I used to be beautiful. Men used to stare at me. Now look at me. I look like my grandmother." Matilda hugged her. Clara continued. "Jenny lied to me. She stole money from her husband. That husband she bragged about. He beats her every day." Matilda remembered Jenny boasting at parties. "My husband gives me $4,000 every month." Lies. All lies. Because of her bead, Clara sobbed. "I wanted the same life. I wanted money. I wanted trips. I forced my husband to spend. Now he hates me. He ran away with another woman. I am alone." Matilda's heart felt heavy. "We didn't know." Clara wiped her tears. "Kalima said I must pay. She said my beauty was the price. But I didn't listen. I kept enjoying. Now, look at me." Matilda looked at her bead again. It shined quietly, like a warning. Clara grabbed Matilda's hand suddenly. Eyes wide. "Matilda, leave Chief. Leave before it's too late." Matilda pulled her hand slowly. "I can't. My mom. She said soft life is better than suffering." Clara shook her head. "Soft life. This is death." Matilda stood up. "I need to think." As she left, Clara whispered, "Kalima always wins." And for the first time, Matilda truly believed it. Matilda drove home slowly, Clara's voice replaying in her head like a sad song. "Leave Chief. Before it's too late." But how could she? Chief gave her everything. Her house, her cars, her hair shop, even her family's rent. Without him, she would return to poverty. And her mother reminded her every day that poverty was a monster they escaped. When Matilda got home, Chief's guards blocked her. "Madam, Ogre is not seeing anyone," one said. Matilda's heart dropped. I am his wife. The guard looked away. He said we should tell you. Stay inside your room. Matilda felt cold inside. She walked to her room and sat on the bed. She remembered when Chief first asked her to marry him as a second wife. She said no. She wanted to be free. But her mother cried and said, "Your father is gone. Life is hard. Do not reject blessing when it comes." Then came the promise. The promise sealed with blood. Matilda shut her eyes. She could still feel the cut on her finger, the warm blood mixing with Chief's. Kalima standing behind them, smiling like a queen of darkness. Chief's voice echoed in her mind, "If you ever cheat on me, you will run mad instantly." Matilda shivered. She loved enjoyment, but not madness. So she obeyed. Now, she was trapped. No love. No happiness. Just silent suffering. Her phone rang again. It was Lara. She was crying. "Matilda, Lillian disappeared." "What?" Matilda jumped up. She ran out of the hostel and shouted that the spirits are calling her. She said Kalima needs her. Matilda's legs weakened. "No, please, no." Lara sobbed louder. She said we must pay for the soft life we enjoyed. Matilda looked at her glowing bead. She was no longer living soft, she was living scared. The next morning, Matilda couldn't sleep. Lara came to her house early, eyes swollen from crying. "We searched everywhere. Lillian is gone. Her phone is off. It's like she disappeared into thin air." Matilda held her chest. Fear was now a living thing inside her. Lara continued. Before she ran, she said something strange. She said Kalima only gives success by borrowing destinies. And when it's time to return them, she collects more. Matilda's breath hitched. "Destinies?" "Yes," Lara whispered. "That's why we changed overnight. The money, the luck. It came too fast." Matilda remembered how they suddenly got BBL money, houses, school fees, even expensive phones. Girls who struggled before suddenly became queens. But at what cost? Lara looked around nervously. "Matilda. We must remove the bead." Matilda shook her head quickly. "Kalima said if we remove it, the punishment becomes worse. We are already being punished." Lara cried. Matilda hugged her. "We will find Lillian. We will fix this." Just then, Matilda received a message. Her heart pounded as she opened it. It was a photo of Lillian tied to a chair in Kalima's shop, eyes empty, like she had no soul left. Under the photo, Kalima wrote, "Return what you took." Matilda dropped the phone. "She has Lillian." Lara covered her mouth, terrified. Matilda stood slowly. Her eyes sharp now. "We must go back to the shop." "No." Lara stepped back. "Kalima is dangerous. She is not normal." Matilda clenched her fists. "She used us. She used our destiny to make others rich. Including Chief." Lara gasped. "You think Chief knows?" Matilda swallowed hard. She wasn't sure anymore. One thing was clear, the soft life they enjoyed was never theirs, and Kalima was coming to collect all of it. Matilda's breath shook as she stepped into the narrow room. It smelled of dust, old magic, and danger. Shelves lined the walls with beads of every color, too shiny, too perfect. They whispered like tiny trapped voices. At the center of the room stood a silver bowl filled with strange, glowing stones. "Quick," Whisper urged from her bracelet. "Dip me in there." Matilda hesitated. "What will happen?" "Your bracelet is a truth bracelet," Whisper said. "It is the only thing that can reveal the true form of the Bead Seller." Matilda's heart hammered. She dipped the bracelet into the silver bowl. The bracelet glowed bright whoosh, filling the room with light. The shelves shook. The beads rattled like angry insects. The door burst open, the Bead Seller appeared, her smile twisted, her eyes glowing red. How dare you touch what isn't yours? She snarled. Matilda turned to run, but her feet froze to the ground. The floor had become sticky like melted gum. You think you can stop me? The bead seller growled. Her skin cracked and shifted. Her fingers stretched like claws. Her teeth sharpened into fangs. She was no ordinary woman. She was a shape-stealing sorceress. Just as she reached for Matilda's neck, boom, the bracelet exploded with light. You will not take her. Whisper shouted. The sorceress screamed, stumbling back. Her true form flickered, a shadowy beast with horns and glowing green eyes. Matilda's feet were released. She grabbed the bracelet tight. We must escape. Whisper yelled. Matilda sprinted out, the sorceress chasing with terrifying speed, right toward Windpoint Village. Matilda ran as fast as her legs could move, stumbling into the village square. Everyone was gathering. It was the bead festival. Necklaces, bracelets, anklets. Everyone happily buying from the bead seller's stall, unaware of the monster behind the smile. No, don't wear those beads. Matilda yelled. They aren't pretty, they're cursed. People laughed, some rolled their eyes, even her mother looked embarrassed. Matilda, enough stories, her mother scolded. Go home. But then, the sorceress stepped into the sunlight. She looked normal again, kind, friendly, sweet. My dear villagers, she said gently. Matilda has a very wild imagination. She handed small glittering bracelets to the children. Click, they locked onto their wrists. Suddenly, the children's eyes turned glassy. They stopped smiling. They stopped blinking. They stopped moving. Gasp. Screams. Every parent dropped their beads and ran to their children. What did you do to them? A father shouted, but the sorceress only smirked. Her voice dropped low and dark. They are mine now. Villagers backed away in terror. The bead seller lifted a hand, and the children began to march toward her like puppets. Mothers cried. Fathers begged. Chaos filled the air. Matilda felt a fire ignite inside her chest. She stepped forward. Let them go. She shouted, voice shaking but brave. The sorceress laughed. You, a tiny nobody girl? But Whisper's voice echoed from the bracelet. She is not nobody. She is the chosen one. Matilda took a deep breath, her eyes filled with courage. If you want them, she said, pointing straight at the sorceress, you'll have to go through me. And the battle for Windpoint Village had truly begun. Matilda's hands trembled as she held the glowing bracelet tight. Whisper's voice echoed again, soft but firm, you have the power. If you believe. Matilda swallowed. Could a small bracelet really challenge the sorceress? The children, trapped like puppets, stared blankly, their faces pale. She felt anger and fear collide in her chest. Focus, Matilda, Whisper whispered. Your heart is the key. Closing her eyes, Matilda pictured each child smiling, running, free. She imagined the villagers safe, their lives untouched by Kalima's cursed beads. Slowly, warmth spread from her wrist up her arm. The bracelet pulsed like a heartbeat, glowing brighter and brighter. Suddenly, the sorceress appeared. Smiling cruelly. Do you really think you can undo centuries of my power? She hissed. Matilda opened her eyes. I don't just think. I know. She raised the bracelet high. A beam of light shot toward the children. The puppets twitched. Their eyes slowly returned to normal. The villagers gasped, tears streaming down their faces. Kalima screamed, recoiling from the light. Her form flickered, once a sweet lady, now shadows and horns, flickering in and out of shape. She snarled, impossible. How? Matilda's courage surged. I've learned your secret, she shouted. The villagers. Your power comes from their fear, from their ignorance. And I will not let you harm them anymore. The sorceress faltered. Matilda noticed her glow dimming. Whisper's voice whispered urgently, now, Matilda. Learn the history. Understand the debt. A hidden scroll appeared in the corner of the room. Matilda picked it up. Its pages told stories of Kalima's rise, of beads sold to greedy hearts, of stolen destinies, and dark rituals performed to gain wealth. Each page made Matilda's pulse quicken. She realized then, defeating Kalima wasn't just about power. It was about knowledge, courage, and justice. And she had all three. The sorceress, enraged, prepared to strike again, but Matilda was ready. Matilda's heart raced as Kalima moved toward her. Shadows twisted around the sorceress like a dark storm. Her eyes glowed with anger and fear. But Matilda held the bracelet high. Its light was strong and steady. "You will not hurt anyone again," Matilda shouted. A bright beam of light shot from the bracelet. The shadows hissed and scattered. The children, freed from the cursed beads, blinked and rubbed their eyes. Tears of relief ran down their faces. Kalima screamed, her shape flickering between beautiful and terrifying. "You cannot stop me," she yelled. "Yes, I can," Matilda said, stepping forward. "Your power comes from fear and lies. But I have courage, knowledge, and justice. I will protect the innocent." The bracelet glowed brighter and brighter. A wave of light filled the room. Kalima's magic, built on stolen lives, began to break. Matilda reached out and put her hand on Kalima's chest. "It is over," she said. The light wrapped around them. Kalima's twisted form fell apart. Her laughter turned into a scream and then disappeared. When the light faded, Kalima was gone. The beads lay on the floor, lifeless. Matilda looked around. The children laughed. The villagers were safe. Freedom had returned. She smiled at Clara, Lillian, and the others. "We won. Not just because of magic, but because we were brave and stayed together." Outside, the sun rose warm and bright. Matilda felt peace for the first time. Justice had been done. The curse was broken. And life felt alive again. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shishi Fairy Tales, to get more interesting stories weekly.